Hello friends, it's Jessica. Welcome back to Jessie Kate Creates. In today's video, I have a really fun project share for you. So here is the card. It is a super fun wine-themed birthday card. If you're following me on Facebook or Instagram, you may have already seen this card, but I definitely wanted to share it here on YouTube because it is one of my favorite cards that I have made in the last couple of months. This card has a sentiment on the inside, and it also has a coordinating envelope. Now, without a doubt, the star of the show on the card is the wine glass. So I want to take a little bit of time to kind of show you how I made the wine glass. So for that, I used a die set from the Ton called Drink Dies. This is a really fun die set. It gives you a wine glass, a champagne flute, and a martini glass. And each glass also comes with a die that will cut out the outline for it. And there's also really fun dotted detail on the glasses and the outlines as well. You could use these to make some really fun shaker elements for a card, and I think I have a video coming on that soon. But for this card, I just stuck with using the wine glass, nothing too fancy. And what I did is I cut out 3 pieces. So I cut out 2 of the wine glasses. I'm gonna bring this up so you can see that dotted detail I was talking about. Isn't that pretty? I cut 2 of these out of 80-pound cardstock, and then I cut 1 of the outlines out of some gold specialty cardstock. And I will have, if I can find links to the supplies I use, I will put all of them in the description box below the video. So once I had these pieces cut out, I needed to go ahead and color them in so they would actually look like wine. Okay, and for that I used my alcohol markers. And when I initially was making this, I was kind of just playing around. I didn't know how I was going to turn it into a card, but I made 2 different glasses. I made some red wine and I made some white wine. I am partial to both. I will happily drink both. Let me know, are you guys red wine or white wine drinkers? Or maybe you like a glass of, rosé. I definitely enjoy that too. Let me know in the comments what you like to drink. But to color these in, it was actually pretty simple. So what I did, I took one of my layers and using the lightest marker I had, I basically just kind of like drew an oval in the middle of the glass, just like that. And I used my lightest color on the inside of the oval. So right here, I used the lightest color. And then right around the edge of my oval, I used the darkest color. And on the edges of the glass, I used the darkest color. And then I used my medium and light colors, being sure to keep it, the very lightest in the center of the card. And I know this looks ridiculous, but when you do that with alcohol markers, this is what you end up with, right? You see the light oval here, and then the darker colors on the edge of the oval and the edge of the glass, but trying to keep the center nice and light. And that's what makes it look like there's wine in the glasses. So once I had gone ahead and colored in my glasses, then it was time to stack these pieces together. And I just glued them all together just like this. And the reason I decided to use 2 of the backing layer is so that this element would be nice and sturdy on my card, since I was a little bit concerned about like how thin the stem of the glasses. I wanted to make sure that wasn't gonna like tear or anything, which is why I used the 2 layers of the white paper. Right? And once I glued all that together, I had my wine glass. Now, once I had the wine glass, I decided I wanted to try a lot of times. I will use a white gel pen. Here we go. A white Jelly Roll pen to go ahead and add accents. And I did that on the card I used for the glass. I don't know whether or not I like the highlight there, so I haven't done it on these 2 yet. But that is what I did for the glass on the card. And I thought it looked really good, but I knew it could look better if I could make the wine look more liquidy. And so to do that, I used Deco Art Triple Thick. And whenever I pick this stuff up, I put it into a tiny little bottle with a fine point tip, so I have more control over how I'm applying this to my projects. This is basically, it's like I use it as a more affordable alternative to glossy accents, although if you have glossy accents, you could definitely use that instead. I just prefer using triple thick, and my crafty wallet prefers it too. So that's what I used, and I just put that all over all over the colored section of the wine glass. And that's how I got it to look nice and glossy and liquidy, like you can see on the card there. Okay, so once the wine glass was done, that's when I knew I had to turn these into cards. And so I started looking through my stash to see what other wine themed items did I already own. Okay, now the first thing I came across, or that I thought of, was another stamp set from the Ton called Wine and Spirits. So it has a stamp set and a coordinating die set. And it has like different cocktails, and for each cocktail it has a really cute sentiment. So there was one that said, "On your birthday, I hope you're on cloud wine," which I thought was perfect to go with a wine glass. So I went ahead and I heat embossed that sentiment onto some white cardstock. I just used gold embossing powder from Hero Arts. And then I used the coordinating die to cut that out. Next up, when I was looking through my stash, I found wine themed pattern paper that I totally forgot I had. I just had a small scrap of it left, so I cut it down so that it could still fit on an A2 card. And I believe the name of the pattern paper is Wine Glasses, and it's from Scrapbook Customs. I liked the paper because, one, it has a nice little sheen to it, but also the wine glasses on this pattern paper, like look at all those. Aren't they so fun? You have like different reds and whites, some rosés. I don't know, I just thought and I like the style of the glasses too. I just thought it was really fun. So I definitely had to use that. So since I had the gold frame on my wine glass and the gold on my sentiment, I decided I needed gold in one other place on my card. I think sometimes when you have an accent color in 3 places on the card, it makes it look more intentional, like it's meant to be there. So I went ahead and cut out a mat for my pattern paper from the same gold cardstock that I used for the frame of the glass. I went with a really thin frame. I think this is maybe like 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch, but I thought that looked really nice on the card. Next, since the pattern paper I had was so small, I needed something for the rest of the card that was showing. At first I was going to leave it white, but then I decided I wasn't really happy with how that looked. So instead I looked through my stash until I could find some red paper. And what I found was this, again from Recollections. It's their Shade of Red pack. Now when I picked this up, I think I picked this up around fall time because I was going to use it to make Christmas cards. I didn't realize it was 24-pound paper, so this is pretty thin, and I'm not crazy about that, but it was the only thing I had in my stash that had like a deep wine red color, so that's what I ended up using. So I just cut out a sheet that was 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and to add some texture, because y'all know I love texture on my cards, I went ahead and used an embossing folder. I used this one. It's the Park Lane Greek Key embossing folder. I'm pretty sure I picked this up at, whoa, if I don't throw it all over the place, I'm pretty sure I picked this one up from Joann's, but I thought it added a nice touch of like class to the card. So that's why I decided to use this embossing folder, but you could really use whatever you have in your stash. So once I had all of my elements, it was time to put it all together. I did go ahead and pop up the pattern paper. I hope you can see that there. It is a little bit popped up. I also went ahead and popped up the die cut out sentiment. So there are 2 layers of foam and dimension on this card, but they're nice and thin, so this is still gonna go through the mail just fine without any issues. And that completed the front of the card. So for a coordinating inside to my card, again, I went to that Wine and Spirits stamp set, and there's a sentiment that says "Happy Birthday to my favorite wino," which I thought was perfect for the card. I went ahead and stamped that down in a deep red ink. I believe this is Cranberry from Concord and Ninth. And then that stamp set also had a wine glass, so I went ahead and stamped that in the corner of the card. That was also the perfect time to do a coordinating envelope for my card. So I have these kind of burgundy envelopes that I picked up from clearbags.com, and I stamped the same wine glass on the front of the envelope. And that made for a coordinating set. So there we have it. There is a super fun wine-themed birthday card. And I'm so happy with how this turned out. And I know a lot of y'all have loved it too. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful or maybe inspirational or motivating for you to get in your craft room and use the supplies that you own to make a nice, fun card. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps other people to find my videos and to find my channel. And if you want to be sure to catch all the videos that I put out, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And when you click the little bell, you'll get a notification every time I put something new out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in a video soon. Bye.